Hello friends, I'm going to paint this landscape today. The beauty of this painting is that you make the entire background only with one color, and then you can use black or gray for the mountains, or you can still keep using the same color and do the mountains also. So let me walk you through step by step process of making this painting. I already did this with the oak, so I'm going with this color today. It's cranberry cocktail. I'll show you how we can just use one color and wash technique in acrylics to make this painting. All we need is just this much paint to get started with. I will keep this bottle here just in case if we need more, but we should be good with just this much paint. Now what we'll be doing is adding more water to this color and diluting the pigments. So I usually start with taking some water on the side and then just take like a little bit of paint, mix it, again just a little bit, mix it. These bubbles are okay because there is less pigment, more water, so we are getting bubbles, but it's fine. Adding a little bit more water. That's how we mix paint for wash technique in watercolor. So now, because we will be starting with this area first, so I will add a little bit more pigment in this because we don't want it too washy for this area. So I'm adding a little bit of pigment, and what you'll do is start from here and drag all across, then back. Same, keep going back and forth. You can take a little bit more pigment if you want this portion more dark. Just taking more water, less color, and just keep going back and forth. Adding a little bit more paint because I want this area to be darker than rest of the painting. I like to paint my sides also, so covering the sides of canvas. I like to use these small canvases. These are 8x8 canvases for my YouTube painting tutorials. They are fun to work with, and because they are small, so it's good to capture in the camera. So yeah, that is our first layer. We will let this sit, and now we'll just keep adding water to this already diluted pigments. Now we are going to do the sky area. So now this is just more water, like this is 95% water and only 5% pigment, and keep going all over. If you need, add more water. I'm going to add more water here. Just moving this a little bit. Keep going all the way up. As you add more water, the color will get lighter and lighter. Just use water to make color light. And this looks like watercolors, but this is acrylic. And you can use any shade. See, I'm not taking any of the paint. I'm just putting more water to this already diluted pigments and going all the way up, painting the sky. Now I like to paint my sides also, so let's cover them, all the sides. Because I'm painting sides, so I just took a little bit of paint so that the sides looks darker. it's up to you. You don't have to add any pigment when you're doing sides. You can just blend it, use water and blend it. So it's that easy. First we use this paint, it's cranberry cocktail, added water, made this first base, the dark ground layer, and then we just added more and more water to the already mixed paint and went with the sky. Now we'll do the same thing here for the bottom, but the ground area would be lighter than this center area, but darker than the sky. So I'm taking a little bit, see, just that much of pigment here, and one more, and then adding water. I think this should be good. Let's see. No, we need more water. You can always test it on your canvas. Yeah, so this is good. This is lighter than the center area but darker than sky. So I'm covering all of the canvas with just one color. Add water to change the consistency of the paint, going all the way down, and just use this paint to blend these layers. Blending is important. Don't go over this layer, otherwise it will make it more lighter. Again, covering my sides. So that is that. Now this area is still wet, so just take more water on your palette and just take a little bit of paint on tip of your brush, mix it, more water, and what I will do is just take this brush and okay, so I'll do this with left hand so that you can see. Just draw the straight lines, do it a little bit different sizes so that same here. I'm not very good at painting with my left hand, so I just wanted to show you like this, because we already have water on the base, so it will spread on its own like this, and then leave a little bit of gap in between. Then again start from here, short line, longer line, again longer line, short line. It depends. I'm not even following this one, so it depends, like if you want longer line, short line, but make sure that all the lines are different lengths so that it adds that depth to your trees. Now let's let this sit, let this dry. Let this dry and we'll give it like 2 minutes. I forgot to take paper napkin. Let me grab one by the time this dries. I think this one should be good. I'm cleaning my brush for the next step. See, I'm using just one brush, one color. You don't need much. I mean, you can mix up colors, but you don't need to. This painting, this wash technique is perfect just to go with one color. Now, just to show some variety, I added grays here, but you can keep going with not adding any paint and not adding any water, sorry, and straight use this paint. I already cleaned my brush, so my brush is moist enough. Now I'll do the hills. Now this, you can see I used different shades of grays, and it will be the same technique. So I'm just using one color for this painting. So I just wanted to show you how you can just use one paint and do the entire painting, and it will look amazing. So now I'm starting with the background hills here. So no color, no water, just the paint, and paint it over all the way down here up to somewhere here. Okay, so that's my one mountain. Taking another one starting from here, that's my another one. Now this, it doesn't matter the shapes, I mean I'm just doing 2 on the bottom and 2 on the back. This ones will be darker. I need more paint here to make this darker. We'll need more paint. I usually use palette knife to take paints out of bottle, but this painting is special. We are using one paint all across the painting, so I don't need to use my palette knife. That's the background. I like to paint sides. It looks more professional, so putting some paint on the sides and here. Now this might be too close to the camera, but it's okay. Now for this mountains, this one's here. I will be using this diluted paint. So that they are lighter than the ones in the background. You can do this with different colors. You don't have to use the same color. I'm using the diluted paint so that it can give that layered look. Here. Perfect. Okay. This is done. So that's our 2 layers. Now if you want these dark ones, then you have to wait, let this dry. While this dries and we build up more layers, I clean my brush. Now we'll go and make the trees. So there are 2 ways to, this one already looks like a tree. We don't need to do much. But here, this one's, I will just take paint on the top of my brush. Hold my brush like this and then just keep going like this. So just load the brush once and then tap just from the top so that you get a very good tree kind of shape. You can take more and make this a little bit darker. And if you want, you can make this center line again. Now the same thing can be done with fan brush. Same step can be done with fan brush. This is a big fan brush. I cannot find my smaller fan brush, so but it will give you a kind of similar result. It's like this. I cannot find my small fan brush, so I'm kind of covering up more of the area. it kind of gave a similar look. I like to use my flat brush. Now here, if you want, you can also mix it up with green. I'll do one layer of, because I used the big fan brush, so I covered these trees, but I will still make like another thin line and go for, let me make this a bit taller, and then using more water so it looks like this tree is in the background, because we have these two trees darker, so making this one lighter so that it looks like it's in the background. And same for the other one, just using one more line and going for it. So the trick is use same color or use different color, then make trees lighter, medium light to darker, so that they look like they are in front and back, like this. Now for the base, I will just use my brush and paint, use the same tap method to paint the ground. So that's one side. Now other side, this one is already like all spreaded, so I'll just make again a line, and I want to do the ground first for this ones. And I'll start with the watery wash paint first and make this first tree. Now I'll go with this one for the second tree. So no water, just paint, using the paint straight. Again, now this one I want to make a little bit more tall. I don't have my small fan brush handy, so I'm using my flat brush, but you can use a fan brush also to make these trees. They are just tapping in zigzag pattern, and I want this last tree to be even more lighter, so I'm adding more water to the already mixed color, and then I'm going to go with just like this, so it's something in the background. Perfect. Now they look almost similar. This is dried, yes, this is dried. So now cleaning my brush and using paint again to just like add a few more layers of mountains, using just paint straight and connecting it with the background ones. So this is dark, this dark. We are almost done with this painting. Now if you want, you can layer up again for these trees or leave it here. That is that. That's that. I'm leaving it like this. Now I'm adding one more step. I'll add some green to this just to add some contrast. You don't have to. I didn't add green to the first painting. I'm adding green to the second painting. Just taking a little bit of green and adding it to the trees here, just for the contrast. Looks good. Just in between. Don't need too much. I'm just adding it to the darker trees, not going for the lighter ones. Leave the lighter ones as is. And here, only for the one dark tree. And similarly on the ground, just add some green taps. It just adds some more color to the painting. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. It's like adding taps of green. It just gives it the layered look. That's all. All I'm doing is using the tip of the brush and just making the lines like this. I think this one is too light. We can do another layer. Use a little bit of more pigment, and that's it. So that's your painting. Now I made this hard because I had Valentine's Day in mind when I painted this painting. This one is already cranberry cocktail color. It's already pink enough or dark enough. So if you want to add heart for this one, then I would go for some other color other than red. We have green color, so let's add a green heart. Okay, I am taking my round brush for that. Taking paint straight from the bottle because we are just making a heart. And you can add a heart here. Perfect. Because my background is still wet, so this green is not coming dark. I have to do another layer of green after everything is dried. I will do that. I'll let my painting dry. I don't have my blow dryer handy here with me. It's in my studio and I am in my living room right now, so yeah. Or I like it the way it looks, so I'll just leave it like this. Yeah, so that's the heart. See, it's kind of similar but different colors. If you want more art tutorials like this, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you never miss one when I upload a tutorial. Thank you for watching.